All right, y'all. It's Tuesday. It's a little bit earlier than normal, but I got things to do, and so does Dusty. So we had to come on a little early today to get this party started. And before I get started, let's do it like this. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. It's your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. This is how we do it most every Tuesday around 6 o'clock. But today, it's a little bit early, y'all, but it's all right. It's all right. Go Dodgers, go Dodgers, go Dodgers. All right. What you got, Dusty?
Man, what is good, Lonzo?
Man, the Dodgers.
Yeah, I was up till about midnight last night watching that game, man.
I ain't never seen a double game like that. I've heard of a double header, but not a double game in one game. Come on, man. I wasn't even watching the game. I was watching it early, but after a while, I'm like, damn, I can't go nowhere. I was at midnight myself, Doc. I get it.
Same here. Same here, man. Great time to be a Dodger fan. We got a game tonight as well, so hopefully if you're in LA, you are supporting your local team. Shout out to the chat. I already see them chiming in. Going to hit that like button before you guys get a little bit too comfortable. Let's get this party started. Lonzo, got a few things that I would love to discuss with you specifically. Let's start with the first thing. I came across an interview with the homeboy Big Court, and we're going to get him on the show as well. He is a huge fan of yours. He's from No Limit Records, and he knows the legend of Alonzo Williams. So I'm working on getting him on the show. He was actually at the No Limit and Cash Money versus this past week, and he was on stage with them right there for the world to see. Before we jump into this clip I want to play for you, Lonzo, did you have a chance to watch that No Limit versus Cash Money?
No, I did not, Doc. I've heard about it, but I didn't catch it yet.
Okay. Yeah, I watched it. I was a big No Limit fan. Every CD in my case at one point, I would say probably 75% of my CDs at one point were No Limit. Because as you know, Lonzo, he was dropping CDs damn near 3-4 times a week, man. And they were all selling 200, 300, 400, 500,000 copies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he did his thing. Did you ever have a preference between No Limit and Cash Money, or were you really into that era?
My favorite artist is Mystical. That's my dude. He may have problems, but when it comes with low limit rappers, Mystical was my man.
Yeah, Mystical was hard. One of my best friends, his brother went to Grambling in New Orleans in the early 90s, and I had never heard of Mystical in my life in LA. And he comes back after the summer being there and brings back all these tapes. And one of those tapes was this dude named Mystical. And at that time, I had never in my life heard anything like that dude.
Yeah, he had that James Brown swagger with the he had a James Brown swagger with a
Tasmanian Devil type of something. More. Keep going.
He had a Morris Day swagger with a James Brown groove. Okay, because most of his songs was a vamp. I mean, very repetitive, but they was just funky, and his voice was so unique. It just gave you something that you hadn't heard in hip hop, man.
Yep. And like I said, shout out to Big Court. He had a lot to do with No Limit over there, and he has a very successful podcast. And like I said, we're working on getting him on the show, and probably vice versa, have you on his program. We'll talk about that offline. But he interviewed MC8 recently. Lonzo, one of our friends, you've been on Gangster Chronicles show to discuss this very topic that MC8 and Big Court brought up. Now, we've heard this in the past, not this particular clip, but we've discussed this subject. But since it is a fresh video, I would love your take on it in 2025. MC8 says early hip hop was straight up trash. I'm going to play this clip and we're going to react to it, Lonzo.
All rap music was bullshit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
You talking about Compton or West Coast?
Just period.
Okay.
Our shit was bullshit.
Because you had Mixed Master Spade, you had Lonzo, and
we had them on the strictly. You had to be real hood affiliated ghetto nigga to know about Todd and Spade in the early days.
Yeah.
We had niggas like Bobby Jimmy and the Critters and shit. Right. With songs like Roaches and shit. Come on,
I remember that shit.
Come on, real talk.
I remember that shit.
Be real. We had shit like that. We had, no disrespect.
Yeah, I
loved Egyptian Lover, but we had Egyptian Lover.
Yeah.
We had the Wrecking Crew. You know, Turn Off the Lights. Yeah. And shit, you know, we didn't have.
It was like a techno type of thing.
Because that's who I came up through.
Right.
Unknown. He had techno house records.
Right. Unknown.
So a lot of our music was spacetronic shit. We didn't have
make that shit up. Spacetronic.
Yeah. We didn't have motherfucking. We didn't have the Tila Rocks.
Yeah.
We didn't have the motherfucking KRSs.
Right.
We did, but they were so underground.
Yeah.
Because they were watching what niggas was doing over there. What Todd
But
said.
then let's take it back though. So we talking 86, 87.
So that's pretty much it. The clip where he brings up early West Coast hip hop. He called it spacetronic shit. Says it was kind of whack. You know, when you hear this, Lonzo, what are your thoughts?
You know, we've had this conversation before. He and I had this conversation, and he kind of backpedaled on that situation, on that whole comment, because you know people forget where they come from. People forget where they come from. You know, if we ain't doing the spacetronic shit, you don't get the crew cut. You don't get the unknown. It was an evolution. You know, everybody was. See, here's the part that everybody forgets, man. Everybody forgets that when we were doing our shit, we was having fun. We wasn't trying to kill nobody, man. We was having. That's how you got Bobby and the Critters, Roaches. That's how you got World Class Wrecking Crew, The Fly, because we was having fun. Our focus was not trying to kill each other. We were DJs that became artists, and we did what we did. We did what we did best. We made people dance, whether it was fast dance, slow dance, pop lock, break dance. We had people dancing. That was our whole motivation. And people, it wasn't street, but I backed that up. It was street. It was streets at that time. You know, and it's amazing, man. Again, people forget. Everybody wants to judge yesterday by today. You can't do that. Yesterday was yesterday. What happened yesterday in the 80s, Wrecking Crew was the shit. Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters was the shit. Egyptian Lover was the shit. LA Dream Team was the shit. Captain Rap was the shit. You can't take that from us, man. I want you to take it. Yes, the streets changed compared to what you guys evolved into. Everybody sounds the same. Everybody got the same subject. Everybody got the same tattoo. Everybody got the same hair. We all, people I just mentioned, Bobby, Jimmy, and the Critters, Wrecking Crew, Egyptian Lover, we all had our own distinctive sounds, our own distinctive styles. You didn't confuse us like that. You know, Eight's claim to fame was going Gia. Okay, he still do it today. He's 50-something years old. You need another word in your vocabulary, bro. But, you know, it is what it is. But when somebody look at him 10, 20 years from now, man, why he keep saying Gia? Why? It's a time, man. Jerry Curls was the shit. Jerry Curls evolved into gangster rap for a minute, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't cool no more. And it's very frustrating for people not to appreciate the evolution of hip hop, especially West Coast hip hop. Because when you look back and you go to East Coast hip hop, reason why we was doing spacetronic shit, so was Soul Sonic Force, so was Africa Bambaataa, one of the brothers that was credited with creating hip hop. Okay, everybody wasn't scratching yet. Nobody damn sure was not talking about no killer shit. KRS-One was always the teacher. That was his get out. But Curtis Blow was before all of them. That was the get down. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 had Jerry Curls, wore feathers, and what's that shit? S&M gear. Okay? Come on, man.
BDSM shit, huh?
Thank you. They want it, and it always confuses the shit out of me why people always want to criticize West Coast hip hop because we had a different start. Man, did you realize nobody realizes that everybody I just mentioned, Lonzo, Egypt, Unknown DJ, Rudy Pardee, nobody gave us a label. We had to go out and grind for ourselves. We were signed to Crew Cut Records, Dream Team Records, Egyptian Empire, Techno Hop. We had to become entrepreneurs and start from nigga, we didn't start from the mud. We started from the dirt and the water. We wasn't even the mud. We started from the dirt. We had to mix the dirt and the water to get the motherfucking mud. And that's something people don't, maybe they don't understand. So by the time I got the mud mix turned into the concrete, you come over here, 17, 18 years old, and able to ride off my foundation. So, you know, and this is the problem that we had as West Coast hip hop. This is one of the reasons why I don't get the same respect that I should get, because motherfuckers don't respect what I did. And to even remotely put Egypt, myself, and anybody else in any light other than being the pioneers of this shit, it's fucked up. That's like talking about your grandfolks. Oh man, my granddaddy had an old 52 Packard. The nigga had some broke hand shoes on, and the nigga, you know, the car smoked and shit. Well, nigga, that's what they had to get your daddy here. You know, and that's one of the problems I see especially when it comes to West Coast hip hop, man, because the people that did, I mean, we weren't signed. Like I said, we weren't signed to a label. Everybody had to deal with McCullough. We had to go deal with the devil. We had to go sell our souls to McCullough, well, lease him out for a little bit, go learn how to mix water and dirt, make mud, learn how to write lyrics, go to the studio, hire musicians. Then when we got the stuff, we had to take it to McCullough. Then we had to go promote it ourselves. All that shit we had to do. Everybody else from the East Coast, y'all had somebody do that for you. Y'all was just artists. We had to become entrepreneurs. And that's a different whole road, man. And if wearing a Jerry curl and being non-threatening was a way for us to be able to get played on the radio, go to high school, tell you what, take some of this gangster shit right now and try and take it to a high school and see what happens. The shit that most of these guys do right now, you can't promote it no place, but in the hood and on the internet, half of them can't do shows without getting shot up. No, man, you got to understand the whole evolution of this game, dude. It wasn't just about being a hood nigga, being some kind of hard dude. Now, I tell you what, we didn't have to prove ourselves to be hard. Like I said before, I never claimed to be a gangster. I've done a ton of gangster shit. One of the biggest gangsters of our time was MC Hammer. That nigga had on parachute pants, but you better not fuck with him. So do you want to clown that too? Come on, man. Understand what you're dealing with. Understand what you're dealing with. If you don't know what you're dealing with, you shouldn't talk about it, man. Because by the time they got to me, I'd already seen a whole lot of shit that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go in that direction. It was my personal choice. I didn't care about the money. When I roll through Compton and I see a cat with tattoos on his face walk my way, and he reached out and said, "Hey man, that's that nigga Lonzo. Oh, what's up, dog?" He ain't looking to shoot my ass. I think that says a whole lot. Whether it's red, blue, or essay, don't make no difference. That means a lot, man. I ain't that's the nigga Lonzo. Go get your strap. Nah, man. I had to have that reputation back then. I still got it now, so that I can still do what I do for hip hop. So please don't disrespect the people, the foundation of what we did, because we didn't do it for you. We did it for us, and you happen to benefit from it. If it wasn't for Egypt, wouldn't be no Rodney O. Rodney O was on Egyptian Empire Records. That was his first label. Come on, man. If ain't no Unknown, ain't no King T, ain't no Ice-T. As an artist, that was his choice. But as a producer, he evolved into something else. Why that is such a disgrace to some of these cats, man? I'll never understand that, bro. I swear to God. I will never understand how is it you can disrespect the people that gave you your foundation. That's like saying, oh man, I lived in the projects, and my mama wasn't shit, my daddy wasn't shit, but I still made it at the projects. But without them projects, without that roof over your head, you don't know where you be. So anyway, man, we had this conversation before, but as I have this conversation more and more, my passion for the disdain for the people that perpetrate this bullshit gets me a little upset. That's real talk. That's real talk.
You never hear Nas, never hear Jay-Z talk shit about Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and all the bullshit music, I put in quotes, that they made. You know what I mean? You never hear them talk trash about Grandmaster who this and
Never.
Never. Is this a West Coast thing?
It's a West Coast thing, man. It's a West Coast thing. And that's one of the problems with West Coast versus East Coast. West Coast don't respect their pioneers. Now the fans may respect them, but a lot of the people who benefited from our the tracks that we laid, they don't respect it that way. They don't have, man. They don't. No, you don't hear people, man. No matter what happens, always a prop. And I think maybe it's a little bit of lack of knowledge, but also the current culture of the internet that controversy sells more so than appreciation. A controversy goes further than a compliment. Okay, this particular interview will probably get more likes than anything we did in a long time because I'm pissed off today. And everybody's gonna take it, they're gonna flip it up, and I'm gonna be ranting about how people don't respect what the fuck we did when we did it. And and here's the bad part, we didn't get rich doing the shit. We made some money, but y'all made the lion's share. And you still making money off the shit that we did for y'all. If I was, and then I think about it, I don't know nobody's financial situation, but I ain't never heard. Well, Cool Herc, he had a lick when he sold all this stuff, but Africa Bada had his issues. But I don't, you don't see Melly Mel on cribs and no shit like that. Everybody at a certain age, we aged out in the 80s and late 90s, just in time for y'all to come in, flip it up, and make something different out of it. We not hating on y'all for selling out y'all people. We not hating on y'all for doing that because y'all bit the apple. We don't hate on you for that. You made your money at the expense of other people. You made your money at the expense of other people. And I'm gonna leave it like that.
Man, yeah, not too many people got shot over a dance song or dancing some electro shit, right?
I got more babies to my credit than I got bodies.
Turn Off the Lights is probably populated.
I got more babies to my credit than I got bodies. Okay, now your shit is being played in court because your shit was being played while a nigga was doing the drive-by. You might have a different effect, a different understanding of what you did to the system. Your contribution is a little bit different. That's when your music had to develop bodies as opposed to babies, it might be a little different.
Let me ask you, Lonzo, when did you start seeing an influx in gangster rappers? Was it before or after NWA?
After NWA.
Oh, definitely after. Okay.
Definitely. NWA, like I said before, they were the reporters of the streets. And once they went here again, they went through turmoil. They was doing happy music, Panic Zone or something to dance to. Come on, man. People forget. Niggas don't understand this shit. What this shit didn't come out the box shooting and killing. This shit was, hey man, we ain't sure. Let's do a little dancing to see if we can stay on the radio. And when they finally hit a lick that made some sense, oh shit, the niggas they talking about what we doing for real. Now, it goes from talking about being a gangster to having to be a gangster so that you can talk about what the hell you did.
Let's talk a little bit about some early West Coast hip hop, Lonzo, that doesn't get as much shine as NWA. There was a song, and we've talked about it in the past, and I'm going to stop saying that because we have new listeners, and we're going to talk about stuff over and over again because, not everyone watches every single minute of the show. So I'm going to stop saying we've talked about this in the past. I'm trying to get that out of my vocabulary. But tell us about the song Killer Dayton's. And before you go into the song Killer Dayton's, talk to us about who doesn't know what a Dayton is. Talk to us about the background behind Dayton's. Give us a little idea of Dayton's rims and how it led into the song Killer Dayton's.
Back in the day, in the 80s, there was a rim called Dayton Wires. Dayton Wires were like $5,000. Only ballers had Dayton Wires. And if you had a set of Dayton Wires and somebody caught you at the light, they're going to jack you And they might kill you for them damn dating wives, for that car with them dating wives on there. They would kill your ass over that damn car to get them datings. That's how.
Think Menace to Society, everybody out there. The green Mustang at the burger joint.
5.0 Mustangs was the primary car brothers put datings on. They put datings on everything. But the 5.0 Mustang was fast. It was a cold ass car. It was like a Corvette because it was small. It was a sports car, and everybody was buying. It wasn't that expensive for a car that style back in the day. And to throw some datings on that thing was, oh man, that was the ultimate. And if you got caught at a red light, a lot of guys would not make a left turn from the left-hand turning lane. A lot of guys would not be caught in the center lane of any intersection. They would stop way back in the back, let all the cars go by, or make a right turn and make a U-turn rather than get caught making a left turn. You ever heard who was that? Don't get as quick. Don't get caught in the center divider. That's why.
Exactly.
Don't get caught in the center divider, because you got caught in the center divider, you can't go nowhere. And if the car in front of you, you stuck. Nigga, the creep up on nigga will be here on the other side of the street, park his car, homie jump out with a 9mm sticking in your face, and you got to get out. You got to get out. Don't get caught at the drive-through. Nigga, you finna order an extra cheeseburger and a Coke and walking your ass home.
Motherfucker, I said cheeseburger.
Okay, so this was the era of the 90s, and the killer datings became the death behind folks dying behind these cars, these rims became so prevalent, especially in LA. They made a song called Killer Datings. Okay, and it was kind of an anti-gangbanging song, but was also a beware of the guys with the gun when it comes to these killer datings. And I think it was on the Saturn record. That was Cletus's record. Yeah, I want to kill one of Cletus's songs, Killer Datings.
Yeah, that was Poetry in Motion. That was the name of the group, D-Rock and someone else. I had it up earlier, but group Killer. Yeah.
I ain't never known they would do no show, no place. Okay, they don't do show. They played that record, and it was on Saturn Records. They played it in the streets, and it was a part of the era where brothers was hell bent on killing each other for whatever reason. Your chains, your car, your sound system. That was what they did.
Killer Datings, yeah, classic song that doesn't get a lot of play. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it on this show. I was watching a couple of interviews, actually. I went in a deep dive on Los Angeles, Southern California production duo Dust Brothers. Are you familiar with them, Lonzo? Dust Brothers?
Dust Brothers.
Yeah, they were from the early 80s. I'll give you a little breakdown because they mentioned something specifically that I would love your thoughts on. So the Dust Brothers, they started out doing beats and production for local people around LA. Tone Loc being one of them. They produced on Tone Loc's album. No hit songs. They didn't have any hit songs until they worked with a little known group by the name of the Beastie Boys, who loved their style, and they ended up producing their biggest album to this day, Paul's Boutique, Beastie Boys album. But they're from LA, and they said something, Lonzo, that I would love your thoughts on. They were talking about college radio back then, back in the early 80s, specifically 1980, basically early 80s. And they worked at a Pomona College radio station called KSPC, and they hosted a weekly hip-hop show called the Big Beat Showcase. And they made a claim that I've never heard before. I don't know if it's true or not, but they said that they were playing hip-hop on that radio station before K-Day. They were playing hip-hop on that radio station before KGFJ. Do you think, do you know anything about that, about local radio stations, mainly college stations, playing hip-hop before the big mainstream stations got a hold of it?
I would say that's very possible, man. Very possible. College radio was very innovative. College radios, the few stations they still have are very innovative right now. College radio was a major source of promotion back in the day. That's where you went to first, because you ain't got back then. college radio. If you go to UC Irvine, Riverside, even damn it, right here in LA, they got a damn it, I can't think of it.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. The other one, it's like a think something right here in LA, off of Sepulveda. They have a college radio station, and you have people that would purposely bring in different types of genres of music to expose it to the college groups, and the radio stations start catering to the college radio stations because they didn't have the same.
Oh yeah, 88.7. That's yeah. Hold on, KSPC. KSPC. Oh shit, that's the same station they worked at in '85. I just put it together.
Yeah,
that's the same station they worked at.
Okay, so you got radio you got record companies that were, especially independents, that were catering to college radio because college radio didn't have the same payola thing that was going down back in the 80s and 90s. You go in there and just drop off some stuff and buy some sodas, some shit like, oh, come on, do a show for tell them you do a show for them, come to the campus and do some more promotion, and they made them heroes. So in fact, a couple of my buddies, they were journalists. They specialized in college radio magazines. They did a lot of radio stuff, a lot of record stuff. They create magazines that would focus on music, primarily hip hop music, and from various areas. One of my partners, named Eric, he had a Groove Line magazine called Groove Line. It was out of Grambling, and everybody bought his ads in this paper to support that newspaper, so that he could have his, and they would support the college radio station.
Okay, so there might be some truth to what they were saying. Now we've talked about KDAY, obviously, Greg Mack, Mac Attack. We've talked about KGFJ, but I feel like KGFJ never really gets brought up in the same breath as KDAY. I think you even said that they were playing hip hop early on, correct?
Yeah, they were. But KGFJ was a small station. I mean, it was super small. And if you weren't into hip hop, you wouldn't know about it. There was no reason. It was only KGFJ. It barely went past downtown LA. You probably couldn't get it in Dodger Stadium. Okay. It might go past. It might have hit tip to Pasadena. Okay. It damn sure didn't get to the 710. It damn sure didn't get to. It went to Long Beach on one way. It went toward Long Beach, and I think it peaked out at the 405 right there, Sepulveda. So the radio signal was very weak. It was an AM station. So AM stations are a lot different. And it might have been only 20,000 watts. K-Day was 50,000 watts. K-Day had a huge antenna. That summer gun was like a windmill. The antenna was so damn big. So yeah, and but KGFJ and my boy Kevin Fleming, rest his soul, he was programming a lot of hip hop. In fact, he had us over there with him for a minute, mixing for him, and we got fired from K-Day behind that shit.
Okay. Getting that real hip hop history tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I love this show, man. Lonzo just be solidifying stuff that I hear when I'm out there in these YouTube streets checking out these interviews about West Coast hip hop. Shout out to the Dust Brothers. Shout out to everyone else that we talked about tonight. We're halfway through the show, so I'm asking you guys to hit that like button. If you have not already, please hit that like button. It really helps us out. It lets the algorithm know that we exist. And also, if this is your first time joining the channel and you like that real West Coast hip hop, that real raw stuff, you're not going to get it anywhere else than this place right here, NWA Stories with Lonzo Williams. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to start doing this every week. I'm going to ask you guys as soon as this show's over, right after this show's over, I'm going to be doing my show on my channel tonight. It's Halloween season. We're going to be talking a few things. We are going to specifically discuss if Eazy-E was a devil worshiper. I know we talked about that on this show, but we're going to talk about it on my show. And we're also going to talk about some beefs, mainly the DJ Quick versus Everlast from House of Pain beef. So I'm going to put the link in the description, and I'm going to remind you guys before we log off tonight to join me as soon as this show's over on my channel, Dusty Vision TV. But Lonzo, let's continue, my dude. Do you know anything about why FM radio took over AM as the top choice for stations to play music on?
Oh, that's easy. Stereo. Back in the day.
Break it down.
Back in the day, when cars, first of all, back in the day, radio was optional. Okay, radio was optional. Air conditioning was optional. Power steering was optional. Okay. Electric windows was optional. Seatbelts was optional. So at one point in time, as people started getting more and more so-called luxurious cars, they had FM radio. FM sound a whole lot better. It came in stereo. And they tried to have KGFJ and AM stereo. That shit never caught on. But FM stereo sound good. That's the same thing you got in your house. That's the same. You get the same quality sound in your car that you get in your house. So you got that pan left and right. You got the bass on one side or with up one place, and the treble and the mid range sitting over here. And depending on how the record was mixed, so it just made for a much more enriching sound. And AM was pretty much monotone. It was mono. It's mono. So you heard it, but you didn't feel it. There's a difference. You heard it, but you didn't feel it. And that's why FM just blew AM away. AM is cool for talk radio. Just having a conversation, yeah. When you don't hear some music, you need both sides. Your brain need to hear different things collectively.
Let's talk some more West Coast hip hop. Lonzo, somebody specifically that made a big hit, and hopefully he's still making money off of it to this day, especially around 420. This song still gets played on my playlist. I'm talking about the one and only Afro Man. Can you talk to us about Afro Man and how you came up? You knew him back in the day, his style before the song, before I Got High, Blew Up, and all that good stuff.
Afro Man was another brother that I discovered at one of my showcases. I had a showcase over on Imperial Highway in Western, and Afro Man came over there with an Afro wig. He had a guitar, but he only had like 4 strings on the damn thing, and he was playing it, but he wasn't playing it hard. And me and him still cool to this day. I see him when he comes to LA. He was in Mississippi, now he's in Ohio. Okay. Afro Man created a character that blew up. His biggest song today is I Got High. Okay. And I remember when Afro Man did a publishing deal, I think he sold half of like $1 million. The boy still works, and 420, that's like his Christmas season. He's everywhere. People call me. I make money off
the Mariah
Afro.
Carey of 420.
Right. I make money off of Afro Man just by knowing his phone number. I need you to hook me up with Afro Man. All right, dude. Send me a little something. I got you covered. So he has developed that character, and he's rolled that character to maybe an underground success. Everybody don't know Afro Man. He's not a household name, but Afro Man is a perfect example of an artist that created his own niche, and his own niche, whatever you want to call it, his own niche, and he's riding it. He's taking it to the grave. And I tell people all the time, man, don't worry about what nobody else doing. Do what you do. Let me tell y'all something I learned a long time ago. My manager, Swamp Dog, his real name is Jerry Williams. As an artist, he was called Little Jerry Williams. And he taught me a lot about the music industry. And one of the things he told me back in the day was, it's a lot of money between where I'm sitting and where Michael Jackson is sitting. Okay? So don't worry about the charts. Don't worry about none of that shit, them award shows. Get you some money. Make you a product that can get you paid and keep you working. Okay? Now, if you like making music for a living and you just want to go out and perform, I don't know, 6 months a year. He does 6 months a year. Okay? At his peak, he was doing 6 months a year because he had kids. He said he'd go out there and he was getting 3,500, 5,000 a night. I know that don't sound like a lot of money, but if you're doing 5,000 night times 3 nights, that's 15,000. Do that 4 times a week, that's 60,000. Do that 10 months out the year, that's 600,000. Ain't a bad living. Ain't a bad living. Not to mention you selling records. Every gig you do, you're getting about 3,000 to 5,000. Plus you selling product. Because see, when you got physical product, you can sell the shit out of it. You got physical product, you can sell it because now it becomes merchandise as opposed to just a record. Because you signed it, your name was on it, and people love that shit. Okay, people love having an artist's name on different products. I've experienced that shit more in the past month than I have in the last past 2 years. My book, my old record. I just did a book signing Sunday. I got writer's cramp. I'm in Buena Park. I'm the only black dude damn near there. And I said, that's gonna be a long day. No, it wasn't. It was very fast. It was very fruitful. So what I'm saying is, once you get a niche that works for you, you just ride it till nobody else wants it no more. And the cool part about it, anybody else that tries to do what you do, oh man, you trying to be like Afro Man. Perfect example. It's because this is a form of branding before I even knew the term. Okay, if you drinking a dark soda, people are gonna say what they gonna ask you for? Coke. If you want to make a copy, what they gonna say? I need a Xerox.
Xerox.
Okay.
Clorox bleach.
If you want it, Clorox is a brand, but it's the same thing as other bleach, but because Clorox came out and locked it in, people automatically connect Clorox with bleach. People think of weed, they think of Afro Man. Who else you think of? You think of Snoop. You think of what's the white boy name? Come on, help me, the white boys. Country and Western dudes smoke weed. Not Charlie. Willie
Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, them the people that you associate with weed. Can you get Willie Nelson? You don't want Willie Nelson. Can you get Snoop? You can't afford him. I can afford Afro Man. He's attainable. Big difference, man. Big difference. So that being said, once you have a brand that people respect, now you can go out there and pimp the shit out yourself. Now I call it pimping, self-pimping, okay, and get your money.
Yeah. All right. There's a couple questions I want to ask you. You just made me think of something, Lonzo. I don't know what you said, but it made me want to ask you this question. Do you ever remember your parents? All right. So we're talking 1969. So you were 11, by memory?
Yeah,
11, 12? Okay. All right. Do you remember your parents talking to you about the hippie movement? And was that movement big in LA? I know you're a little too young, but do you remember any adults talking about it? Or what do you remember about that movement in 69, the Summer of Love?
I remember they had a pair of pants that came out. They had these love pants, the jeans, and they came with colored markers. And you could write on these jeans. And you could write love, war, peace signs. I got a pair of them damn things, man. And that was the coolest shit in the world. See, here again, in 1969, I was 12. I'm junior high school. I'm heavily influenced by Sly and the Family Stone, Curtis Mayfield, all the anti-war, anti-violent artists, even the white ones. Because back then, if it was cool, we didn't care. We didn't care who did it. Okay, I love Steppenwolf and Three Dog Night. Yes, I loved all that shit. Okay, and would play it right to this day and bop my head to the shit. Okay, I was heavily influenced, but my dad, he was a veteran, so he understood about war. My mom didn't really care about it, but it wasn't the hippie movement. There was something we saw. My older sister probably talked about that more than anything. because I wanted to get a natural. And be it back then, having a natural was a part of the hippie movement. That was a black thing we did, and we tie a hat, tie your shit around your head, a band around your head, and I wore a old army jacket. If you ever watch Mod Squad, you got to go to Pluto and watch the Mod Squad sometime. Link Hayes, who was Clarence Williams III, that was his first TV show. He was the black dude on the Mod Squad. And the white girl, Julie Lipton, she married Quincy Jones. That's Quincy Jones' old lady, right? And he was super cool. And he wore a army fatigue jacket. Guess what I found? Army fatigue jacket. Shit. Okay. And I had an army fatigue jacket, and I had a army officer's jacket. And I got in trouble before. I got in trouble by the cops with it because it still had the rank on it. Anyway, these were the people that influenced me as a kid, man. It just, but did I hear my mom talk about it? They talked about the long hair a little bit, but it wasn't like it was derogatory because it was cool. The Beatles was cool. Billy Preston was cool. I mean, Al Green, man, go back and look at Al Green on Soul Train. Nigga had on high pants and boots. Al Green got on boots, okay? He got on, I'm not bullshitting. So Jimmy, thank you. Like Jimi Hendrix, all that. Let me put that on there. Thank you, bro. Jimi Hendrix, all these folks, man, they had an influence. It wasn't negative. It wasn't always negative. And my parents discussed it, but I don't recall it being in a negative light. You watch Walter Cronkite on the news, and I wasn't watching no damn news. Okay. By the time I heard about the Vietnam War, but by the time the Vietnam War could start concerning me, and I got to high school, I was ready to go to ROTC, and to avoid going to the Army, I was gonna go to the Navy, and then they stopped drafting fools. I was so happy. They was drafting when I was coming up. They was, nigga, you ain't got flat feet, grab this goddamn M16. I got a job for you, for real. Y'all know nothing about that right there.
You was probably scared. I mean, I'm assuming your generation was scared of shit for the most part.
You was nervous as fuck. Because when you graduated high school, even when I graduated high school, I had to fill out a survey. What was it? The card. Civil service is some kind of service, military service card or something, that you are eligible to go to the service, man. Yes, sir, Doc. And back in the day, see, this is how gang banging did not take hold in a major way. Back in the day, if you caught a case that was bad enough for you to go to jail, you had an option. Either you can go to jail for 2 years or go to the Army for 4. That was your choices. And a lot of cats choosing the Army. Now, when you choose the Army, and this is where the deal bit them in the ass, go to the Army. If you do your 4 years, you come out with benefits. You get a VA, you get a college education loan, you get a VA loan, you get a house, you get health care, and you might get a check. And they realized brothers was benefiting from going to the service. So they took that option away. Now they only go to jail. You don't get no benefits. Selective service, thank you very much.
Selective service. Selective service.
There you go. There you go. Selective service. Who said that?
I think that would have been Visalite, right?
13. Huh?
Oh yeah. There you go. L Harris.
L Harris. Much love to you, Doc. 18 years old. You had to register for the draft, whether it was drafted or not, Doc. Selective service. They was on your ass, huh?
Man.
You prayed that nobody went to war. Remember, Vietnam was such a crazy ass war. They didn't really. After that, they backed up off the draft because so many cats got messed up. Dude, it was like a year before I graduated high school. I think maybe a year, 18 months before they stopped drafting. I was up next. I had next. Nigga, I had next.
Can you tell us the general consensus about Muhammad Ali specifically the time where he decided to not go to, I believe he was drafted, decided to not get drafted or whatever the case is. Tell me what you know about that story, and also give us the general consensus of how the Black community viewed Muhammad Ali, this great boxer. You know, was he this big superstar that, you know, everyone talks about him to this day?
You got Black folks, the Black community has always been divided when it comes to their heroes. You know, we always have a hero on one side, a hero on the side. When he was fighting cats like Sonny Liston, because Sonny Liston was a thug and he whooped a lot of ass, and Ali was young talking shit, and a lot of cats didn't like Ali. Grown Black folks didn't like him because he talked too much shit. And then a lot of people liked him because he was young and different. Okay, when he finally whooped Sonny Liston's ass, people, oh shit, some people thought it was luck. And some people loved the fact that he whooped his ass, just like some people loved Martin Luther King. Some of them couldn't stand him. Some of them couldn't stand Malcolm X. Everybody was not a hero when folks was not heroes. A lot of cats was not heroes in their so-called prime. They didn't become heroes till later on in life. Okay, and Ali was one of them. Well, after he started winning, when he went to the draft, he stood up for himself. And again, back then, patriotism was a lot different because some people thought he was anti-patriotic because he wouldn't go fight for his country, and then he turned Muslim, and that right there confused a lot of people, man. A lot of Black folks didn't understand that, and a lot of folks was like, "Cool, I don't care what he do. He ain't got to go over there." You know, it was the one thing we have mastered as Black folks is division. We have mastered the art of division. We're not a monolith by no means. So it was a lot of folks who loved him for standing up for himself, and others thought he was just a straight up coward. It all depends on what part of the country or what city you was in, who you was talking, what barbershop you might have been in. I've heard these conversations with my daddy. People talk, man, he's just coward. He don't want to go there and fight. He'll beat up on white boys. He won't go there and fight for his country. Man, that dude ain't anybody called him nigga. Why he want to go over there and do that? So all these conversations were being had. I'm sitting there as a kid in the barbershop trying to look at the Barbara McNair Playboy. Okay? Y'all know about that right there.
So one thing that that messed up a lot of people also, Lonzo, was heroin. Do you remember what can you tell us about, you know, a lot of people getting hooked on heroin when they came back from Vietnam?
You know, I was talking about this the other day. I don't recall in LA that being a bigger issue as it was back east. Now, I don't know, maybe because I live in a small circle, I run in a different kind of circle. I don't recall ever dealing with anybody that was high on heroin. I know people were, but that wasn't a big thing on my side of town. Okay. I had a buddy of mine from New York. He was kind of into it, but by the time he got to LA, he realized it wasn't that popular. He kind of backed up off of it. But one thing I did notice, as just common sense, is that every time we go to war, we come back with a new drug problem. Think about that shit. Every time we go to war, we come back with a new drug problem. We went to Vietnam, we came back with heroin. We went to Afghanistan, we came back with now we got opioids. We went to not Afghanistan, but over to Nicaragua, we come back with crack cocaine. Now they went to Afghanistan, they come back with opioids. And it seems to me that for some reason, Big Pharma realized America likes to get high. And as we like to get high, we're not gonna let this money get made by nobody else but us. So we're gonna find a way to put the shit they like in the pill and get it to them. Okay? They ain't gotta put it in no pipe. They ain't gotta shoot it. We're gonna put it in the pill. That's why you got opioid, or what they call it, hillbilly heroin. Same shit.
Yeah.
Adderall, same oxycodone, same shit. Okay? But you know, they just found a way to make it not really legal, but yeah, I guess they did find a way to make it legal. But it's still an underground market that's not supplied by folks from overseas. They may get the raw material, but they found a way to refine it and make it accessible. And you get a prescription for it in most cases. But shit, for some reason, even with a prescription, even you still can find jugs of that shit on the streets from time to time.
Before crack, there was PCP, Lonzo, which I know was big in LA back then. Can you tell us about what you remember about PCP? Maybe the first time you heard about it, what you know that it did to people, any stories you have of any friends who did it?
PCP, aka butt naked. Because boy, I don't know why folks had to get, maybe it made you hot. That shit would have you butt naked on Avalon pop locking. Okay? Ain't no bullshit. PCP was, I think of all the drugs that I have ever experienced in the hood, PCP was probably the most fucked up one. Because PCP, you lose brain cells permanently. I had a cousin that smoked PCP back in '77, died in the institution, okay, about 3 years ago. Never came home again. He smoked some PCP and he never came back again. I know a young lady who could type 150 words, 100 some odd words a minute. Got on that PCP and shit, she's butt naked on Avalon. Pretty girl, butt naked on Avalon. Okay. Crack, people recover from crack. Now, I've noticed that crack, people who have been heavily involved in crack tend to have heart issues later on in life. I've had quite a few people I know that were into crack in the 80s that have had heart attacks and died. Heroin, don't know a whole lot about that. PCP, that shit right there, man. And first of all, it's a straight chemical. It has no natural origins whatsoever. It's a straight chemical. It's something you make in the lab and you give it to somebody. What back then they said it was horse tranquilizers. But dude, you be zombied out. You be dude, and it gave you strength. You was dude. Cops catch somebody on PCP. It take 4 or 5 cops to bring a cat down. It take 4 or 5 cats to bring a butt naked. Do you ever try to see anybody bring down a butt naked dude? Dude, butt naked, shit swinging. Okay, nobody want to tackle this son of a bitch. Nobody want to tackle him. It just was a very cruel drug, man. It was cheap, and a lot of cats liked it because it was cheap. They had it in various forms. They called it lovely when you put it on marijuana. It would be called lovely. Put it on mint leaves, it was angel dust. If you put it on you dip it into the Sherm. I don't even see Sherm cigarettes no more. Sherm cigarettes. You don't even see Sherm cigarettes. Sherm
sticks.
You dip it into the thing, let it sit there for a minute, turn it upside down. How do I know all this? I don't know. But let it drain down to the bottom, and once it dried out, you can sell it. And people, it was cheap. It was $10 a stick. And I'm gonna sit there and tell you, yeah, I tried it one time. That shit is not to be played with. Somebody gave me some one time. Maybe we was trying to find one thing and didn't have. This is what they got right now, man. I hit that shit out, dude. I vowed never again. Yeah, I'm not perfect by no means. I did some dumb shit, and that was probably some of the dumbest shit.
And it smelled like death.
Dude, you cannot get away from that smell. You can't hide that smell. Marijuana, you can wrap that shit in some enough plastic, but that shit right there, that shit reeks. It reeks. Okay, it's like a combination of paint thinner and mint leaves. Okay, it's strong, and if you try to sneak that shit in your house, your mama gonna bust your ass. You ain't sneaking that in your house.
I haven't smelled it since the 90s, but just talking about it, the smell is so, because I was around people who did it.
Yeah.
Smells horrible, man.
Yeah.
All right, what we got about? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, it was some horrible shit, man. Of all the shit, all the drugs that I've ever seen in the hood, I think that was probably the most fucked up because, crackheads would be functional. Crackhead would steal some shit, break into your car, steal some shit. Somebody on PCP, you just gonna sit there. You ain't gonna, your whole brain just goes to another dimension.
Yeah, I'm glad I never tried that shit, man. That's scary stuff. All right, we got a few more minutes, Lonzo. It's Halloween. Don't you have a Halloween story about somebody busting your window or something?
Man, yeah.
Talk to us, man.
Man, it was a Saturday night. Halloween fell on a Saturday. And like what this ghetto boy said, Halloween fell on the weekend. And I'm in there getting dressed. I only got one costume. I always go as the Black Panther. That's all I ever go as the Black Panther. I'm not spending no money on no costume. Her just blam, blam. I run to the house. I didn't see nothing at first. I go in my dining room, man. They got two big ass bricks. And somebody threw them through my window. And my neighbor, he's the cop, and he saw the guy after he did it. He ran after the cat, and but he got bad knees. And he said he ran, chased the guy for about a half a block, and the homeboy was low running. He said, man, the whole time he was running, I ain't going back to jail. I ain't going back to jail. Nigga, why you break my motherfucking windows in? And we never caught the dude, of course. And the next day I had to go out there and take my whole front window out, man. My whole front window. Big ass multi-plate glass. Take it out and get it replaced, dude. $400. Because the digger couldn't get a goddamn Snickers bar. The motherfucker couldn't get a Snickers bar. Because in my neighborhood, where I live at, on my street, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 8 houses. Nobody comes down here. I have bought candy and had the light on, and I ended up eating that shit. And my boyfriend said, nigga, leave that shit alone. I ended up eating that shit, so I stopped buying it. Nobody in my street has to, do no Halloween shit. And this grown-ass fool decides because he couldn't get a Snicker bar or some candy corn, he wanted to bust up my goddamn window. Man, whoo, God, he blessed that fool by getting away.
Great story, Lonzo. Man, that hour flew by. We have a couple minutes left. You got your show coming up in November. I hear the Dodger game in the back, so we got to cut this off. And I want to remind everyone as well that I will be doing my show right after this. We're going to be talking about Eazy-E, worshiping the devil, and I put worshiping in quotes. And we're going to talk about a little-known DJ Quick Beat that not many people know about. So I put the link in the description. I appreciate if you guys join me right after this show. Tell us about your upcoming show, Lonzo, and anything else you got going on.
Oh man, on the 8th, I'll be doing at Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'll be there doing the effect of crack cocaine and gangbanging on our community, a symposium with this Black Historical Society, and then the following week I'll be at the original East Siders Car Show. Me, clientele, Mayor Hawkins, and a young lady, Candy B. We'll be doing our Wrecking Crew show. And Friday, Halloween, I'm gonna be out in Burbank. I'm doing a book signing out in Burbank, man. I've been doing a lot of book signing. I've been having fun doing that, man. That's been really cool. So I'll be out in Burbank for Halloween from 7 to 12, doing a book signing and just doing my Lonzo thing, man. Get ready for the 50th anniversary of West Coast Hip Hop.
There it is, my man. Hit him with that outro, Lonzo.
All right, folks. For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre into surgery. I forgot about shit.
Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold.
On the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit, because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, y'all.